All right, guys, we are here at Defensive Arts Center, Ballistic Arts in Beaverton, with my phenomenal instructor, Mr. Gregg Fishbeck. Gregg today is going to go over kind of just the general difference between a full size, a compact, and a subcompact. We're going to be looking at Glocks today. And this is more to go along with the video that I made many months ago about my duty weapon and how I switched to the Glock 17. So just to kind of give you guys a brief overview. So this is not a gun video. We're not going to be breaking down the guns, but this is a great way for Gregg to kind of give you guys an understanding of the difference. So I'll turn it over to Gregg. Gregg?
All righty. Well, thank you, Damien. We're not going to tear guns down. There's everybody's opinionated. Everybody's got an opinion, and to me, the best gun is the one that works, the one that gets you 4 rounds on target and fast as possible, and that you practice with. However, from the size perspective, and especially in relationship to what Damien had a video previously about the size. There are a lot of education points that you may want to have just tucked away. So when you go out to purchase your next firearm, or when you're deciding what firearm should I carry, that you can take into consideration. So, starting out with his duty weapon here, what we've got is your classic, and I do mean a classic Glock 17 Gen 3. Of all the Glocks, this is my preferred, primarily because that's what we train with. What we have here is all of our simunition guns, all of our gas-powered guns, and even the SIRT pistols themselves are all modeled after the Glock 17. Something to make just a mental note of that we talk about here in class all the time is Glock 17s, or Glocks in general, have a 22-degree grip angle. Most other firearms have anywhere from a 14 to a 17 degree. So it's just a little bit canted further back. Now, some people are going to try to tell you that that's a problem, and other people tell you it's more natural. What I tell you is you can learn anything, right? You're going to myelinate that. You're going to train with that. What I usually tell people, though, for your everyday carry guns, if you going to purchase a Glock, then use Glocks, right? So that's what we have here. These all have the same grip angle. So other differences, of course, obviously is size and the things that you really want to concern yourself with. So the Glock 17 has a magazine here, has 17 rounds. It will hold 17. As you can see, all these guns are empty and have been cleared. 17 rounds in, so you'll hear this referred to often as a 17 plus 1. For any of you who don't know, the plus 1 just means the magazine holds 17. I can drop one in here manually, close this down on it, insert my magazine, and now I have 18 total if I carry one in the pipe. Okay. So the other thing to take into consideration is single stack versus double stack. Now, the original concept of the Glock itself was to be interchangeable. The industry, of course, and consumer demand changed that dramatically. So they're not fully interchangeable anymore completely, but there are a lot of interchangeable bits and pieces. As an example, I'll show you here what you've got is in the Glock 26. Now, this is a Gen 5 Glock 26. This is a Gen 3. Glock 17. This has a adorable little miniature, fun-sized magazine, but it is a double stack, so it does hold 10 rounds here, so this would hold 11 rounds possible. But you know what? Watch this. I can take that. Guess what? It works. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. They make sleeves for them. They make extensions for the bottom of here. They make extended pinky grip. So you can adjust and change the round count of your firearm through particular add-ons. The one thing, and which I think Damien was addressing earlier, that you really want to be aware of is the balance between concealability and functionality. And one of the things that you'll find here when you're using the flat short mag, which is designed to help it conceal better, is there's no place for your finger to go. This drives some people absolutely crazy. Right? Other people, it doesn't matter. I'm one of the people that drives absolutely crazy. So I've done things on my own firearm. I carry a CZ, and what I've done here, if you look on my, I won't unholster this, but I designed this in 3D CAD, and I had this, and I 3D printed the first version and then sent it off to have it powder printed after that, or SNS printed. That gives me, it didn't extend my capacity. This is a 13 round capacity magazine as is, but it gives me a place for my finger to go. So when my holster, as you can see here, how my finger drives down, as opposed to this firearm, where when I drive down here, my finger doesn't have purchase, nothing to get a hold of. So they fixed that when you start getting into like a Glock 43. Now all of a sudden, this is a single stack. So if you look at the magazine, it only has six
plus one.
6 plus 1. So this holds 6 rounds. Plus 1 is 7. I think you can get a 7-round mag for this.
You can get a 9-round.
You can get a 9, and it's just going to extend out further.
Yep.
Also, other things you'll notice, they do make, I don't know if you can see this or not, magazine add-ons. Now, these are for the double stacks. I'm assuming you can get one. You can also download them and 3D print them. I made some for my brother. Those are designed to just replace the floor plate of your existing mag and giving it a few extra rounds capacity. The advantage to the, in this particular case, the 43 and I think the 48 as well are both single stack mags. The advantage to that is it has a very thin handle. So when it does conceal, it tends to fold away a lot easier. Some people don't like the grip. Some people love the grip. This is a personal preference, and you have to find that balance between how many, what your carry capacity is, and the comfort and accessibility of the gun itself.
The 43 is an absolutely perfect pocket gun.
It is. I will tell you this: when you drive down on that, see, just like the one that I custom created, my finger has a place to go, and my grip fits perfectly in that. Right, so a lot of people will do the following. They will get an extended grip magazine for something like their 26, and then they may carry their spare magazine. As you see, my spare mag is always right here. I've got a neoprene holster that keeps it right inside of my pocket. So when if I have to dig it out, it's right there and it's live. And so what I've got is my normal short mag that I carry here, so it doesn't stick out for people to see so obviously, but then I keep my extension right there.
With these 3 firearms, just real briefly, what is the best purpose for each one? Obviously, that's going to change from person to person, but if we're talking in a general sense, if you're looking at these 3 firearms that we have on the table and you're thinking, okay, if I'm letting my student here know what he can utilize these 3 for the best purpose, what would they be? And we'll start with the 17.
Yeah, don't hold me to this, right? Because again,
this is just opinion.
Everything is controversial, and my opinion changes based on the individual I'm talking to. But in a ridiculously generic oversight, this is, of course, one of the best for home defense, primarily because it's your 17 rounds. It is big. It's obviously, when you have it, there's if you're under attack and you just have to grab it quickly, providing you maintain the appropriate grip, then it falls into your hand pretty easily. Then with the other 2, you're getting into concealed carry. Obviously, depending upon how you dress, what's the bulk of wear, if you're trying to hide it beneath a t-shirt, then something like the single stack versions of the Glocks are, of course, going to be much better. When they can't forward like this for a couple of reasons, or when they can't forward on the waist, that causes it to conceal better, as well as driving your hand high on the slide. So this will disappear under your rib cage really, really easily. Whereas this one is also a good concealed gun, but it is thicker. It's going to be less comfortable, but it does give you more carry capacity.
Well, I have a question for you. We live here in Portland, and it's summertime, and we're coming up on a couple of high-profile trials, which, if people don't know anything about Portland, good, bad, or indifferent, that tends to lead to protests. So we are entering protest season. My question today was going to be, would the 26 be a good option for me to maintain in my vehicle? What are your thoughts on that?
Maintain in your vehicle. That I can't do that on video. And the reason because I could say yes, but I say never. You never ever leave a gun in your vehicle. So
obviously,
maintain it in your vehicle. That means it is your carry gun for that day. Right. Unless it's so locked up, just because, again, criminals watch for people to get out of cars, especially ladies when they don't have purses, because they're going to go ransack those cars. So that being said, it does give you an adequate capacity. I mean, the bottom line is everything we do here at the Defensive Arts Center is about mitigating the odds, right? Okay. The odds are that it is the newest numbers of all the violence that will present itself to you in your lifetime, less than 13% will ever result in aggravated assault where you may have to use a gun to defend yourself. So take all the rest of them and shove them aside, which is why that really is your best option. If you're looking at that 13%, 86% of those happen inside of 9 feet. You don't know they're coming. So you need something that's fast. You need to have the training to deploy it quickly. But here's the other interesting statistics. Of those, 54% have more than one opponent. We also know it takes 3.7 rounds on average of 9, 380, 9, or 40 caliber to stop a determined aggressor. Now, that's an average. So we practice for 4 rounds. If you plan on 4 rounds per attacker, then you have 2 attackers. Then you need to have a minimum of 8 rounds and no misses.
Wow.
And we also know that habitually, anywhere from 30 to 70%, depending upon your level of training, and are going to be misses anyway. So it does beg the question, where do you feel at risk? And is 7 or 8 rounds enough?
Wow. So if you're thinking about that, that really kind of leads us back over to this being the option. And hopefully we'll have time where we can work on doing some videos about, mitigating those factors when you're in your vehicle, because that's something that I know I haven't really practiced, even the idea of what to do if ever in that situation. So
that we can teach you.
Definitely need to be thinking about that. But so your basic most important thing to take away from this is to remember that equation of the number of rounds versus the number of potential threats, which, if you're thinking about finding yourself in the middle of a protest or a situation that might turn south, you might be in even graver danger. So
valid point.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.